Live. Good evening, everybody. My name is Sajid, and welcome to the live show for this Facebook Live session. You all know that we have been discussing about the effects of digitalization over the last few days, and we had an opportunity to invite people from across the field of the society. Uh, you all have heard about the positive sides of digitalizations, the way it has been easing our life and affecting in one way or the other, whether it is social media or socializing with people or let's just buying things online. But we also have been knowing, hearing, and discussing a lot about the issues of cyber crimes, cyber frauds, and credit card data issues, and worst of all, the person being impersonated. So we, some way or other, we have been victimized, either one of us or any of our friends or colleagues, and it has affected the commoner as well as celebs, as far as impersonating is concerned. So this evening we have a very powerful and knowledgeable guest with us. His name is Mr. Dhananjay Mali. Mr. Mali is a engineer, and also he's an expert in cyber laws, forensics, and also been supporting the big corporates for their cyber security and works hands in hand with the law enforcement agencies. So we are very fortunate to have Mr. Mali today, and this evening we will discuss about uh, the remedies, the threats of the usage of internet, and how we can prevent things which we are not supposed to face. Also, we will have another guest, Mr. Jagdish Chaudhary. He is the promoter and chief promoter of Hira Siddhi Homes. He will also enlighten us on this session on various fields. So, Mr. Mali, thank you so much for joining this session. I hope that I did not fall short on the introduction and it was matching your caliber, sir. Yes.
Yeah,
Welcome, sir.
thanks.
Welcome, Dhananjay, sir. Welcome, Jagdish, sir.
Thanks, Rishi. Thanks, Rishi. Good evening, Jagdish sir and audience. Um, in fact, it's been my pleasure to be part of this community go live and speak about the risks and its effect, and how we can protect ourselves. Sharing my thoughts and experiences with corporates and law enforcement agencies. Uh, Thanks again, and looking forward
Thank
for informative session ahead.
Certainly, sir. We are also here we are anticipating a lot of learning in next few minutes from your side, sir. To begin the session, our first question would be like during the pandemic and post-pandemic, a lot of people are buying and selling things online. So we would like to hear from you that how secure are these web portals from identity theft and phishing scams, which many of us are like facing it. So we would like to hear the remedy and understand the behind the scene about this scenario.
Yeah, so in Sajid, actually, digital transformation has accelerated. Has been accelerated due to pandemic, and businesses are looking forward for opportunity to, tap, consumers online. But this has invited opportunities to, underground community also, basically to exploit unaware or gullible customers who are coming online because of limitations, and trying to buy things to meet their needs. So if we look at the history, right from the bazi.com, where the first case related to online cybercrime was reported, and that came to media, till today, wherein large scale corporate frauds have been evident, and sophistication has increased. However, if any opportunity is coming to us, to buy products online at a cheaper competitive rates and getting it delivered to a doorstep without putting much effort, then we have to also think about authenticity of the platform, and quality of the products as well. So we know, there are global platforms available, and if we are buying things on that, there are mechanisms working to address grievances of the customer. There are processes in place to address the concerns. But when it comes to new sites or new apps that are being launched daily on the on the internet, also in the mobile ecosystem, so we have to be cautious. We have to see that those are authentic. Owners are clearly identified. Business model is clear. In case there are any grievances, is there any mechanism to basically raise that grievance? So even if we are a layman, so these basic things we as an user or a customer need to understand. If these basic details are present, then we can start with small ticket, small acceptable kind of risk level transactions, and then make use of it for our benefit.
Yes, certainly. So, in fact, me as a consumer, we often buy things, but we never, thought of, looking at these details, what you mentioned just now, like looking at the company background and authenticity of the product or reference checks. Max to max, we read the reviews and not going beyond that. So, it's a wonderful insight from your end, sir.
Very,
Rishi, would
very
you like to ask the next question?
yes, sir. Sir, as you mentioned about the cyber security and cyber crimes that have been happening, so my question to you, second question to you would be: is nodal account transaction safe in terms of cyber security?
When I relate this with the existing business models, the offline, like we have banks where we all trust the regulated banks. We do transactions with them, and through them, actually, we complete digital transactions. Same way, in the online platform, uh, this escrow accounts setup, that is helpful. When we are not sure about the other entity, we can trust the intermediary. We can do transaction with them, and unless and until services are delivered to the expected quality, and to the level that we are expecting, we can actually be assured that money is safe, and then we can go ahead with concluding the transaction once both the parties are satisfied. So from that perspective, uh, you know uh, these accounts are safe. Only thing is that since these transactions are happening online, like any other uh, uh, business transactions or monetary transactions, we have to have adequate security controls in place to ensure that it does not go in wrong hands. So that level of endpoint security controls as well as network security controls, if we have, and if we do cross check the account numbers and the authenticity every time, that helps. Because recently what happened is, there are numbers identical to banks toll free numbers, which are being used by cyber criminals basically to give customers. They are calling, they're impersonating banks helplines and calling customers and requesting for sensitive details, OTP and all that, and misusing that for their personal gains, to do unauthorized transactions, or uh, doing some business transactions on behalf of them or impersonating them. So we have to have understanding of these risks, and then use this mechanism basically to do trusted transactions.
Yes. So
Very
having
true.
a nodal account or escrow accounts, it helps the business owner to be more authentic and prevent any kind of fraud, if
Yeah,
may understand.
yeah,
Okay.
that's
Sir,
I
you
have a
have
question.
like, yes, sir, please.
What is the difference between a normal account and the nodal account?
Yes, sir.
basically like the banks, or the regulated entities, they need to maintain account with a regulator, for example central bank, and they keep money and they do transactions. Similar way in e-commerce, for example, there are payment gateways. That payment gateway are used to do e-commerce transactions where we buy things by paying over that payment gateway platform, and they have an account maintained for this business purpose where they take time for settlement, and you get a time to raise if there is any grievance. For example, product is substandard, is not been delivered. So from that perspective, we get certain time till for buyer to raise their concerns.
To make a charge back.
Yeah, yeah, and there are grievance mechanisms. Suppose there is a fraudulent transaction that has happened, you can contact grievance officer and ask for reversal of that transaction. So that we get a buffer time till the time transaction is closed to the other party.
Understood.
Yes, perfectly. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, you have been also like working hand in hand with law enforcement agencies. So after the enactment of Information Technology Act 2000, did you come across more of cyber crimes, or has it declined, or what is the scenario? What does the data suggest on that issue, sir?
Um, so when I started, supporting law enforcement agencies long back in 2000, that point of time, even though IT Act was enabled, there was not much awareness. So Indian Penal Code IPC sections were applied, and that point of time, most of the offenses were of kind of a revenge porn, or identity theft kind of offenses, where police or law enforcement agencies were comfortable in booking offenses and completing required paperwork under those sections. But gradually, as criminal justice system got mature, they started applying these sections. They got to know of the technology, and they started applying these sections. But we have seen huge penetration of mobile and other digital devices in society. So that has given opportunity to criminals basically to go on a large scale. We have seen certain designs like Jantara and all, which has been appearing in media frequently, wherein kind of entire village is moduled in such a way that uh, they uh, they they do kind of fraudulent transactions or impersonation while sitting at their homes, or just owning here and there. So um, so, so that has led to increase in cyber crimes. However, the IT Act gives us comfort because there are two remedies that are available: criminal as well as civil, under Chapter 9 and Chapter 11. So civil and criminal remedies have been divided, wherein for compensation we can approach adjudicating officer, which is like a secretary of IT secretary of states, and there we can file a complaint about the contraventions like a civil suit, and it is disposed in a time bound manner. So we don't have to go to police unless there is a criminal element to that. If there is a criminal element, then the case goes to police and they do investigation. But besides, cyber crimes, it has enabled e-commerce by establishing certificate authority, and then the digital signatures. But by and large, we have been relying on the Western digital signatures rather than the signature or the bodies which have been empowered under the Act. Because tech platforms mostly that are coming to us have those certificates or root certificates inbuilt in that. So it has become a part of a ecosystem now. But still, there are sensitive matters. Even we see the, while filing returns, we use digital signatures, which are issued as per the Indian IT Act. So in that sense, it has made a huge difference as far as the cyber crime investigation and prosecution is concerned. Judiciary and other elements of the criminal justice systems, they have been trained on a regular basis by state and central machinery and their labs. So we have cyber labs set up by government. There are many initiatives. We will discuss about that as well.
Yes.
That's amazing, sir.
So
So my next question would be regards to the previous one, that what tips would you give to how to protect such web portals against cyber crimes? Like, what is your suggestions that one should do?
First thing is, cyber criminals usually look for vulnerable people who are not much aware of technology, not much hands-on, and there are some, sophisticated hacks which are targeting to level people, corporates where significant assets or monies there, or banks, and state sponsored cyber crimes are also evident. There have been recent supply chain attacks which targeted US and even major tech platforms. So when it comes to state sponsored acts, ultimately state has to play a vital role. But when the other side, where small ticket transactions that we do over the platform, we have to be cautious, check for the authenticity. First of all, we have to start hygiene at our end, like laptop or endpoint mobile devices that we use. Are they maintained in a proper manner in terms of downloading only the apps which are trustworthy, required, having antivirus or anti malware in place, and avoiding sharing KYC or sensitive information with unknown people, being cautious about links being shared over social media or WhatsApp groups. Take just checking whether those are from the authentic sources. If we maintain those basic hygienes, then we get a confidence to do transactions using our devices. And every time when we see the portal of offering products at a discount, some new portal offering products at a discount, people try to go for it, without thinking much, because they have been communicated in such a way that people get attracted to it. So we have to think for a moment, see, whether this particular business is really beneficial for them, or is there any hidden interest behind that, and source also through which it is coming. Because I have seen you, even learned friends come to me and tell that they have got an offer to get a car just for one third or one fourth of the charges or something like that. So this prima facie doesn't look genuine. Even they use a certain brand name to indicate that certain awards are being given, and if those details are available on the official websites, then we can trust it. But without applying for it and without going through due process, nobody is gonna give you reward or award or something, gift also. So we have to think from that perspective also, whenever the things come to our mind of going to such transactions. So we have to be cautious. This is basically hygiene and common sense. If we use these two things over the uh, uh, platforms and online, we can safeguard at least from the common threats.
yes, certainly, sir. As we in general say that cleanness is next to next to godliness. In fact, Mr. Jagdish ji is a very strong advocate of cleaning, security, and if you visit his office, you can understand that, isn't Jagdish ji? Yes, sir. Moving forward, Mr. Mali, our next question is: government has been very supportive for digitalization in India. They have launched a massive scale initiative like Digital India, where they want all the transaction to be digitalized. Other than this Digital India or under the Digital India, what are the initiatives that government has taken for better cyber security of for consumers? We all know the news is, but we don't know what is behind the news. So if you can enlighten us on that, that will be great, sir.
That's an
Yeah.
amazing question.
Yes. 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 So, with regard to this, I think government is sensitive about the trends that it is observing, because NCRB data of 2019 indicates that there is about 63% increase in cyber crimes. So crimes are increasing, and FBI report indicates that India is among top 20 cybercrime victim countries. So government has been putting efforts. It has already a certain in place at a central government level, and recently it has organized a command center at home ministry level, a cyber command center, and a portal is also launched for end customers or victims, basically, to report if there are any crimes. Emphasis is given on the women being victimized, or children being victimized. Like cybercrime.gov.in portal has been launched, where people can go and complain if they feel fear to go to local police station, if they are not confident about the responses that they will get. They can go there, report it. They can also go to a local police station, and there have been dedicated cyber police stations that states have formed recently. And in Maharashtra, we have got separate cyber project, basically, which has been initiated recently. I think from last couple of years, they have been working to have a specialized team to support, front-ending staff, police stations. I recollect, Vidarbha, in Maharashtra, and also I have worked with the first cybercrime police station that was in Hyderabad, actually, AP Cybercrime Police Station. I got an opportunity while doing specialization in cyber law. I got opportunity to do internship with them, with my past experience from Maharashtra, and it was great learning and knowledge sharing uh, with them. So. Um, so overall maturity among the cops and the criminal justice system has increased. Only thing is that the process is time taking. But there are other grievance redressal mechanisms available. For example, RBI has a ombudsman scheme. If there are any unauthorized financial transactions, you can report to your bank. The next level is the ombudsman. So there are layers of grievance redressal mechanism, and they are responding. Uh, so that awareness has to be there among the users, and they need to feel comfortable to approach these mechanisms in a right time and right manner. In fact, I have been maintaining alertindian.com, one portal where keep track of these initiatives from governments and major developments that are happening in cyberspace and privacy areas.
That's amazing, sir. Sir, my next question
Yes, sir.
would be
I have a question.
Jagdish ji would like to
Uh,
say.
yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Dhananjay ji, do we have a special code for investigating matters related to cyber law?
Uh, so it's nice question. So as far as you know I know I explained about the civil and criminal part of that. So under Chapter 9 for civil cases, there is a adjudicating officer mechanism that is in place, and cyber appellate tribunal is in place, which is a special mechanism which has been created under the IT. So currently, IT secretary have been entrusted with that responsibility to, uh, uh, as a handle cases as a quasi judicial body. But with regards to criminal cases, the existing court machinery which has been there, handling routine criminal cases, they have been entrusted for the same.
That's amazing. So that was an amazing question too, sir, because we all got enlightened about that particular topic of cyber security. My next question to you would be, sir, how secure are the details of a customer or a buyer on the online portals that are present today? So a lot of online buying and selling has been happening during pandemic, which has uh, as compared to pre-COVID, it has been increased at a very huge amount. So how secure are the details? Because a lot of times, a lot of portals also ask for Aadhaar verification or PAN card numbers or such things. So, sir, how secure are these portals?
In fact, the security goes hand in hand with the maturity of the organization. So any new entity that is being set up, it depends upon the management and the entrepreneurs effort in terms of understanding the overall risk related to uh, the business model that they are taking online. But uh, when it comes to users are most of the times are not aware of the mechanism which is there working at the back end, and how secure it is, where data is kept, how it flows. So like end to end security has to be there. But when we say security, there is no foolproof security, so there has to be a significant amount of effort that each and every entity which is looking forward to do business online has to do in their capacity, and they need to follow the guidelines from the regulators to ensure that necessary controls are in place. But whenever any entity thinks about going online, they also need to think about the risks that are there, threats and the risks, and how to address that. And if they develop business model right from the beginning from that perspective, then that gives confidence, and that maturity is evident to the users or customers as well, so they can experience that, because we have seen breaches happening at the mature tech platforms level also. So there is nothing like foolproof security. But in case such breach happens, how entity responds? Does it take ownership to basically respond to those incidents, investigate it, work with law enforcement agencies or certain basically to address those the the issues or the consequences of that incident. So if that thought process is developed from the beginning, then I think that gives confidence to the customers and the stakeholders.
That's amazing, sir.
Mhm.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And sir, Mr. Mali, now this a lot of businesses are moving towards app usage. So when there's something called CMM level as far as to prove the credential of an app. So what are your views on this particular subject related to app business?
Yeah, so in the earlier response, I mentioned about the maturity of the organization. So basically, CMM talks about the maturity level from 0 to 5. So which is more related to the process, related to development of a product or services. So, any organization when launches business, it starts at an initial level where the concept is put in place, and basic things are in place, and then uh, organizations gradually get maturity. They scale, they go in a project mode, and then defined, and then finally optimized mode, where they look forward for a continual improvement uh, process. So I have been working with multinational clients, where they have put basic security controls in place, and now they want to see themselves, where they are in terms of maturity. So that's where I see use of this CMMI, and COVID. On the IT side, there is another COVID framework. So these usually be applied to check the maturity of the organization, because as per the IT Act and the global trends, the for the security, corporate security, or information security management perspective, ISO 27001 is the standard which is widely been adopted. But it is a risk-based approach applied at a management system level. But at CEO level, at board level, if they want to see where we stand in terms of organization maturity, and maturity in terms of processes, and these CMMI and COVID standards, basically best practices, basically help us to meet that requirement.
That's a
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So with that, I would also like to add that Kage is a CMM level 3 certified app, and we are still progressing, but we do look forward, as you said, a different department should be present in a particular company for the whole cyber security. We also take pleasure in announcing that we also have that department, and we are working day and night for the same. Sir, also, I would like to thank all three of you for your time and that you dedicated for this webinar. Thank you, Dhananjay sir. Thank you, Jagdish sir. Thank you, Sajid sir, for your time for today and sharing your insights about what cybersecurity is, because it is such a huge and wide topic that people are so unaware of. Even small actions on internet can actually lead to big sort of problems or issues in their future. Thank you so much for sharing your topics and your also your thoughts about the same. And I would like to thank all the viewers for viewing this particular webinar. And I'm very sure that you guys would have also learned a lot, because I am personally enlightened by the whole session today. Thank you so much for being there. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more webinars. Thank you.
Thanks, Sajid.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Rishi. Thank you, Dhananjay ji, Sajid ji. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.